Ford Motor Company Supply Chain Strategy. Group 4 by Veronica Perez, Hai Zaidul, Teresa Martinez, James Nguyen, and Raul Alvarez. The intent of this presentation is to provide a detailed view of the Ford Motor Supply Chain Strategy changes, analysis, and recommendations that were proposed by the executive management team. The presentation will cover the following topics: general issues, main stakeholders, theory and concepts, symptoms and problems, alternatives and evaluation criteria, best solution and implementation plan, evaluation and review of the project, and current status today.
A. General issues, facts, and challenges. Henry Ford, while working as an engineer for Edison Illuminating Company, built his first gasoline-powered horseless carriage in the shed of his home in 1896. In 1903, Henry Ford established the Ford Motor Company, and 5 years later, the company introduced the first car, Model T. By 1913, Ford introduced the world's first moving assembly line, which reduced chassis assembly time from 12.5 hours to 2 hours and 40 minutes, and ultimately 1 hour 33 minutes. In 1914, to further improve productivity, Henry Ford introduced $5 daily wage for an 8-hour shift by replacing $2.34 for a 9-hour shift. Ford car sales reached 501,462 in 1915, and production exceeded 1 million in 1920. By 1995, Ford's annual revenue reached over $144 billion. In 1995, Ford announced a restructuring plan called Ford 2000 to consolidate into 5 vehicle centers, VCS, and incorporate emerging IT in supply chain. Since the 1970s, the auto industry became much more competitive, and restructuring and supply chain integration were important to be successful. B. Main stakeholders. Employees. Ford Motor Company employs approximately 164,000 individuals at 69 plants around the globe. Customers. Ford believes that customers make them who they are. Ford Motor Company serves more than 5.7 million customers worldwide. Dealers. According to Ford, their dealers are the face of Ford to their customers and communities. Ford has 11,790 dealers around the world. Suppliers. According to Ford, suppliers are an integral part of their business. Ford buys over $75 billion of parts, goods, and services from over 23,000 suppliers. Investors. Ford's success directly affects their approximately 158,000 investors around the world. Communities. Ford's mission is to support the communities they do business in. Ford has 276 facilities worldwide, and they impact those communities through employment and many other ways.
C. Theory and concepts. Business model, Ford 2000 initiative. Strategy, economies of scale in manufacturing and purchasing. Capabilities, automotive network exchange, order to delivery, and Ford production system. Value, global operations, organizational and process reduction and cost cutting. In efforts to lower costs, improve processing time, and obtain global positioning, Ford Motors took drastic measures by revamping their supply chain strategy, which was known as the Ford 2000 Initiative. According to Ford Motors, this would reach global economies of scale within their manufacturing and purchasing operations by leveraging new information technologies such as the revolution of the Internet. To obtain their desired results, Ford Motors proposed the merger of their North American, European, and international automotive operations into a single global organization. According to Ford, this move would improve the development of globally common products and bring standardization within their operations. During 1997, the multi-year initiative required internal and external system capabilities, such as the setup of a company-wide intranet. This capability allowed Ford Motors to set up an extranet connection with suppliers, which allowed for smoother communication between parties. Additionally, Ford also was able to partner with other automotive dealers, such as Chrysler and General Motors, which streamlined supplier network processes. This was only achievable with a new capability, which was referred to as the Automotive Network Exchange. To continue to support their efforts, Ford Motors had to take immediate action by eliminating organizational and non-value-add activities and redundancies. The consolidation and process improvement efforts were accomplished by the initiation of Ford Motors re-engineering projects such as the Order-to-Delivery Project and the Ford Production Systems Project. One of the Order Delivery Project's goals was to significantly improve Ford Motors' delivery time from more than 60 days to less than 15 days. As for the Ford Production Systems Project, new system capabilities were developed, such as the synchronous material flow and inline vehicle sequencing, which gave Ford the power to inform suppliers of their inventory needs days in advance, which led to dramatic reduction of inventory. With the initiation of Ford 2000 Initiative, towards the end of 1998, Ford Motors was able to attain the following: $6.9 billion in profits due to the Ford 2000 Initiative, record-breaking profit sharing for Ford Motors employees, 3.9% return on sales. Ford Motors was recognized as world leader due to their iconic trucks, and in 1997, Ford Motors was identified as the most improved automaker by J.D. Power.
Section D. Symptoms and Problems. Symptom 1. Existing supply base has thousands of suppliers of production material. Problem 1. Large network of suppliers created complex supply networks with little cost management. Decision criteria 1. By reducing the number of suppliers, it created a more exclusive relationship between Ford and its suppliers. This made the relationship stronger and the pricing became more stable. Symptom 2. Ford 2000 Initiative re-engineered the corporation. Problem 2. Large production system with many redundancies. Decision criteria 2. Modeling their new production system on Toyota's production system, the Ford production system allowed the system to become more refined, streamlined, and overall more efficient. Symptom 3. Order-to-Delivery Initiative allowed orders to be fulfilled within 15 days. Problem 3. Deliveries took 45 to 65 days to complete on existing systems. Decision criteria 4. By looking at the delivery chain holistically, Ford was able to improve the order-to-delivery process by removing gaps in the supply chain. Symptom 4. Ford Retail Network becomes Ford Investment Enterprises Company. Problem 4. Ford Retail Network varies from market to market, making itself its own competition. Decision criteria 4. Changing to a united Ford Investment Enterprises Co., the internal competition was eliminated, and it allowed Ford to promote a singular network to allow the company to advance as one. Section E. Alternatives and evaluation criteria. Alternative 1. Do nothing. The pros of this would be that there would be no need to change the status quo and no cost to retrain staff. The cons of doing nothing would be that the redundancy costs would continue to rise within Ford's network. Alternative 2, update supply network. The pros of this would be to eliminate cost redundancies to excess suppliers. The cons of updating the supply network would include the fact that a new system would take major upgrades and changes, including ending key relationships with suppliers. Alternative 3, upgrade production system. The pros of this would include eliminating extended delivery orders, update production systems, overall improvements to the corporation. The cons of upgrading the production system would include the overall cost to upgrade, including staff retraining and equipment and IT upgrades.
Part F, as you can see on the slide, is the implementation of the company strategy. Ford is a giant automobile company. In the mid-1990s, right around 1995, Ford came up with a plan, a 5-year plan called Ford 2000. Ford 2000 is a 5-year plan in which Ford was trying to restructuring plan to merge North America, European, and international automotive operation into a single global organization. There are several parts to this 5-year plan, and one of the key factor or part is the OTD, order to delivery. Order to delivery is a plan with the goal to reduce the OTD time from more than 60 days to less than 15 days from the time the customer order the product, which in this case is a vehicle. Ford also tried to leverage the information technology in also right around the mid-1995 with the launch of public internet site. And with it, it's also launched and tried to establish the Ford intranet. By the mid-1997, within 2 years of the launch of the internet and the intranet, the number of visits to the site had reached more than 1 million visitors per day. In January 1997, Ford also established business-to-business capability, also known as B2B. This is the capability through which the internet could be extended in a secure manner beyond company boundary, so that internal information could be extended through extranet and potentially connecting Ford with a supplier. There's also another major development at the end of at the beginning of 1999. That was the replacement of Alex Trotman with Jack Nasser as the new CEO. Nasser had been Trotman's second in command throughout the Ford 2000 rollout, and he had a long-standing reputation as a top-mind cost cutter and capable leader. It was Mr. Nasser who see through and led the effort with the implementation of the Ford 2000 5-year plan. This is where I would try to review the case. The Ford Motor Company is as mentioned before, is a giant in the automobile industry. In 1995, Ford started a 5-year restructuring plan called Ford 2000, which included merging up with North America, European, and international automobile industry into an enormous organization. Ford 2000 envisioned dramatic reduction in costs through re-engineering and globalizing corporate organizations and processing into one global standardization through 5 vehicle center. What is vehicle center? Vehicle center is a center that was responsible for developing automobile that cater to the customer demand through a process called customer segmentation. Through this methodology and the implementation of it, this strategy was a copy from Dell Computer, in which segmentation allowed Ford to understand the customer need in detail and to improve the end product. In order to achieve objective of Ford 2000, Ford also have to drastically revamp its supply chain strategy by using information technology as a critical enabler in the process. IT was strategically embedded within all re-engineering processes to enhance better material flow, reduction, inventory holding amounts. Another implementation was the Ford production system known as FPS. It was created to switch from a push to a pull system. This is a system that was designed inventory, marketing, and manufacturing and supply were synchronized toward a synchronous material flow known as SMF. On here, on this slide, you see a repeat of OTD, order to delivery, was another key factor of Ford re-engineering effort to reduce the OTD time of more than 60 days to 15 days from the time customer order to the delivery of finished vehicle. Implementation of virtual integration, which was also a copy from Dell's strategy book, in which IT was used as a leverage for Ford to realize any value shift in customer demands and to remain up to date and relevant to fulfill customer need. With the implementation of the Ford 2000, at the end of 1998, Ford have accumulated a profit of $6.9 billion. This is unprecedented. An employee throughout the company enjoyed a record profit sharing and return on sale 3.9% in 1997 was also a record breaking for Ford.
Ford continues to go further in the next decade. Ford has transitioned from Ford 2000 initiative to going further. And by doing this, Ford has increased its global manufacturing process in 2013 by 15%. By doing this, Ford has transitioned its streamlined production and gets the necessary parts to its manufacturing facilities and to its suppliers and vendors in a more timely and efficient manner. Ford continues to focus on sustainability in 2013 and 2014 by targeting zero waste throughout its manufacturing facilities. By doing this also allows Ford to become more competitive and more environmental friendly, which also attracts customers, stakeholders, and enables them to comply with government regulations. Ford's strong balance sheet with a light liability shows an asset ratio test of 6.7, which shows the liquidity of the company's strong financial position and a great indicator of the company's solvency for the future. With an asset ratio test of 6.7, this is well above the benchmark of 1.0 throughout the industry. With a benchmark asset test ratio of 1.0 from its competitors, this gives investors the financial picture that Ford is able to pay off its current liabilities in a timely manner. Referring to the balance sheet for 2012 and 2013, we see that assets have increased from 2012 to 2013. The total assets have increased from 189,406 to 202,026. Note that the following numbers are all in millions. The equity has also increased steadily from 2012 to 2013 from $15,947 to $26,383. The total non-current liabilities from 2012 to 2013 range from $170,098 to $182,495, which is attributed to the long-term planning and the long-term growth that Ford has continued to show throughout its history. The current liabilities are steady from 2012 to 2013 at $19,308 to $19,531, which also shows that the total equities and the liabilities have gradually increased from $189,406 to $202,026. Overall, Ford has continued to grow from year to year and has shown to go further as stated in their motto. By doing this, Ford continues to focus, as stated above, by increasing global manufacturing, focusing on sustainability, its stakeholders, and having a strong balance sheet with a light liability, which enables Ford to be positioned for continued growth for the future and to go further.